Hi everyone, today is the Vita's 10th birthday, and so I thought I would do a video just talking about the Vita, talking about kind of my history with it and why I love it so much. Before I get to the video, I'm going to do a bit of a shameless plug. My Kickstarter for my book, Vita Means Life, is available now. It's on Kickstarter, let me get it right in the camera. Kickstarter is on now. It's a 400-page book about the history of the Vita, all about the life of the Vita with retrospectives on big games and interviews with developers. The link will be in the description. If you want to check it out and back me, that would be awesome. So, the Vita. I was a big fan of the PSP, and so when the Vita was announced, I knew I had to have it. So I remember actually exactly where I was when I saw the announcement of the Vita. I was on a business trip. I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I had arrived about 2 days earlier than the day of the Vita announcement. And so I remember I was really jet lagged. So the night before, and again, I just remember this really well. I went to Cheesecake Factory, which is an awesome restaurant. We don't have it in the UK. I love it. Really good food. So I went to Cheesecake Factory, and I remember I was awake in the morning about 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep because I was so jet lagged. And I knew the Sony was doing their press conference, so I thought, all right, let's just get up and watch it. And I remember kind of warming this pasta that I took away from the restaurant last night and couldn't finish, and watched the video of the NGP Next Generation Portable that Sony announced, and I was blown away by it. I knew straight away I had to have it. Like I said, I love my PSP. I took it with me everywhere. And the idea of a handheld from Sony with dual analog sticks that had Call of Duty on it. They were showed Metal Gear Solid 4. They talked about Uncharted. You know, I had to have that device straight away. Now, obviously, Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't end up coming to the Vita. Call of Duty wasn't great, but, you know, it really sold it to me straight away when I saw that announcement. And over the next few months, so that was January 2011, over the next few months as the Vita was being launched in December 2011 in Japan, there was obviously loads of announcements. Sony showed off trailers to games and talked about it. And, you know, generally I was just more and more excited about it, everything I saw about it. Obviously the memory card prices were a big problem. You know, that obviously did make me hesitate a little bit when I saw that. I didn't care that the 3DS had a price drop. It just wasn't something I was interested in. But the memory cards for the Vita were concerning. I remember when the Vita launched in Japan, all those articles about it, generally quite negative. People were pretty negative about the Vita's success. There was lots of questions in the games media saying, you know, do we need a dedicated handheld now that we've got smartphone gaming? The answer is yes, we do. And, you know, I remember there were pictures of the Vitas left on store shelves in Japan, and everyone was saying that, oh, you know, the Vita's not in a good place, it's not going to do well. And I remember that same messaging was there as the Vita was launching in the West as well. But I didn't care. I wanted it. I just loved it. I remember the first time I held a Vita, we have a store in the UK called Game, which is unsurprisingly a video game store. And so I remember going to one, and they had the manager had one available to test out, and I remember playing Unit 13. That was the first game I tried on my Vita. I already had the pre-order done ages ago. As soon as it was available for pre-order, I pre-ordered it. But that was my first time actually holding a Vita and trying it and actually experiencing it. I remember I was there on a kind of, I was on a little shopping trip, went into Game, tried out the Vita. I had my son with me. He was in a pushchair. He was only like a year and a bit old. So I remember him like sleeping in the pushchair while I was standing at Game playing Unit 13, which was awesome. It was really cool to actually see and hold the device in person after all the videos I'd seen of it. Like I said, memory cards were a problem, but I remember when I bought it, I got it from Amazon. They had a deal where you get an 8 gig memory card free when you buy the Vita, which got filled up very, very quickly, but it was something at least. I'm glad that, you know, they gave something for Vita buyers. So on launch day, I remember I was working from home, and I remember the Vita arrived at something like around, you know, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning or around midday. And just got it, opened it, started setting it up. Sorry. I remember, so the first physical game I got for it was Uncharted, Golden Abyss. But then I also got a lot of digital games on that day. So I got Wipeout 2048, Escape Plan, Plants vs. Zombies, Super Stardust Delta, and Motorstorm RC. And Wipeout 2048 was the first game I played on it. And I was blown away by it. You know, the graphics, the sense of speed, it was just amazing. It was a huge step up from the PSP. And so that, you know, immediately I was even more sold on it, even more enamored with the device. And so, you know, obviously I downloaded those games and I pretty much filled up my memory card straight away with just those downloadable games in Wipeout. And I tried, obviously, Uncharted. I tried all the games, but I think Motorstorm RC was the one that I really enjoyed the most, and that I really got kind of hooked on straight away. It's just so fun, so addictive. If you haven't played it, Motorstorm RC is awesome. I've done a review on my channel. Check it out. But it's a brilliant game. You should definitely play that game if you haven't already. So fast forward a little bit. You know, I saw all the comments about people saying the Vita had no games. For me, I was still playing the launch games, you know, through most of 2011. You know, I would obviously play the games I had. I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 later on. I bought Rayman Origins later on. So, you know, and Mutant Blobs, got that a few months later. So I was still happy with the number of games that were available. I did understand what people were saying because there weren't many new games coming onto the store, as many people would have liked, but I was happy. I had a flood of games that I was continuing to play, so there was never a point when I felt like I had no games for the Vita, because I was happy to kind of go back and look at games that had already been released as well. As you know, going into 2013, I remember the PSTV being announced and launched, and the Vita Slim, and you know, the PSTV is really sort of how my channel got started. The first video I did was unboxing and reviewing the PSTV. Which was cool. You know, I didn't think that video would do well, and it didn't at first, but it grew kind of an audience later on, and you know, and now here we are. And you know, the channel has got like 18,000 subscribers. It's got like, you know, I think last time I looked at it, it was nearly 2 million views, or maybe a bit more than that now, which is amazing. You know, just from that one kind of video about the PSTV, it really kind of started something. And then obviously my books, and obviously book on Kickstarter, just bringing that up again. So yeah, I mean, the Vita really was really special for me. You know, it did kind of launch my channel, got me into writing books. You know, more recently being on Sacred Symbols podcast, it's just awesome. You know, it is a very special device to me. But so the PSTV, great device. I bought a Vita Slim when it came out. I think it was literally just the charging port made it a big deal for me. Just so I could use the same charger I was using for my phone. Just made things about easier. And to be honest, I know people will always kind of compare the two, the OLED versus the Slim. I actually prefer the Slim in terms of the comfort to hold it. I actually find it more comfortable to hold. Obviously, the OLED screen is better, but you know, I think the Slim wins for me in terms of comfort, and not so much anymore in terms of the charger. But that was a big selling point for me as well. Moving into kind of 2014, 2015, one thing that I really liked about the Vita that Sony cancelled later on was PS Now. PlayStation Now basically gave us access to loads of PS3 games to play on our Vitas. And it worked well. You know, you had to be near an internet connection. So, you know, when I was far away from my Wi-Fi hub, the signal wasn't great and it didn't run well. But, you know, as long as you're not too far away, it ran really well. It played really well. And so I remember that's how I played XCOM and Bioshock Infinite and Motorstorm Apocalypse and other PS3 games that I'd missed in the PS3 generation. So I love PS Now, and I was really annoyed when Sony took that away. It's, you know, because of all the complaints they had about lack of games, PS Now was a way for them to, you know, mitigate those complaints. You had a service where people had access to, you know, dozens of games from the PS3 library, dozens of console games, which is always what the selling point of the Vita was supposed to be able to play console games. So yeah, that was frustrating for me that they took that away. But I think Sony really couldn't have imagined that the Vita would still be getting so much support from indie devs and Japanese devs so long after its launch. You know, they gave up supporting the Vita after 3 years, but you know, indie devs especially really kept it going. And, you know, got to give kind of shout out to those guys for keeping us busy with our Vitas. And, you know, I know Ratalaika Games got a lot of criticism for some of for their trophies being too easy on their games, but they kept on giving us games. There was a period in 2018, 2019 where they were releasing games nearly weekly, which was awesome. You know, and other kind of indie publishers like Sometimes You, they were releasing games constantly, and you know, these guys really did help keep the Vita alive. And then you look at kind of smaller developers that were just putting out games, like the guys from behind Neurovoider and Scourgebringer, Flying Oak Games, more recently Russian Subway Dogs. There have been so many awesome games out for the Vita from indie developers, and it's really kept me busy with my Vita and just kept me constantly entertained. And the reason why, you know, it is the device that I still play nearly every day. Like I said, I love this device. It's just awesome. Just so many good memories associated with it. I think in terms of the future for the Vita, Sony's going to shut down the store one day. I mean, you know, they've been doing everything they can almost to stop us playing our Vita. They said they were going to shut down the store. Luckily, they reversed that decision. But, you know, they are going to shut it down eventually. And so I just hope that we'll have access to our download list so we can keep on downloading games. But it is amazing to think that a device that the first party, the creators of, gave up on after 3 years, they've done so much to stop this device succeeding and stop this device being viable. But, you know, there are fans still here, like me, like most likely you watching this and you subscribing to my channel. You know, you're a fan of the Vita. We are kind of keeping this device alive for ourselves at the very least. So, happy birthday to the Vita. It's been a great, great run, great device. I realize we won't get new games anymore. The last physical games have now been sold out. But for me, it's still an awesome device, and kind of crazy that it's been 10 years of playing this thing. So guys, let me know, what are your memories of the Vita? When did you get yours? What are your thoughts about its future? And don't forget, if you do want to read all about the Vita's life, then Vita Means Life, and book on Kickstarter right now. Leave a comment below, guys, and as always, thank you for watching.